There was a rabid animal, a hound or wolf, harrying the farmers round and about a small Midwestern village. It had already murdered several sheep, goats, and cows, and there was some justifiable fear that it would one day strike a human target, perhaps a child. So the men of the village trailed the animal to a section of the forest. To prevent its escape, they formed themselves into an extended line and, armed with rifles, pitchforks, clubs, swept through the forest more or less in step, driving the animal before them. An ancestor of mine, a great-granduncle or great-grandfather, was a part of that line. It was his misfortune to come upon the animal as it hunched cowering in the underbrush. His first shot hit but did not kill the creature, which either attacked him or tried to escape past him. To prevent this, the man fell upon the animal. Others came and clubbed it to death, but by then the man had been badly bitten and mauled. The doctor tended his wounds, but in that time there was no cure for hydrophobia. Suicide was a sin. So the man settled his affairs as best he could, said goodbye to his wife and children, and locked himself in a shed out behind the family home. His wife left food and water for him every day, but it was never taken. At first, the sounds that came from the shed were quiet ones, and could only be heard by standing with an ear to the door. Then there were violent crashes and thrashings. Finally, at night, and for the next several days, the family could hear him going mad. His cries ended on the 6th day. Still, his family did not go near the shed. On the 8th day, some neighbors came wearing kerchiefs over their faces and gloves on their hands. They carried away the man's twisted body and buried him in a fine, shady spot on a hill. This was told to me as a true story. For some time now, I've wanted to write it, but could not decide on the best approach. It could easily be sensationalized into a potboiler or a kind of realistic werewolf story, and at first that was what I intended. But that would dishonor the man if his story is a true one, and in any case I could not think of an ending. Presented realistically, it lacks a story sort of ending, a spin or a punch to cap things off. It does not instruct or illuminate, it just ends in stoicism and regret. One day last week, I sat here for some time and could not get started. I decided to walk it off and went out into a chilly spring afternoon. I started along the road picking up trash, beer cans, empty bags, paper cups as I went. Near the bottom of the hill is a pleasing graveyard like the one I just put into the folktale of the rabid man. As I wandered among the stones, I said aloud to them, "Tell me a story." But the only story that I found was the same one, over and over. Somehow, people managed to bear up under the weight of the unbearable. And that is how I came to give this story to you.
Soup's on.